Have you ever noticed how some people can change the atmosphere of a room without saying a single word? They don't argue, they don't explain, they don't chase. They simply withdraw, and suddenly, everything shifts. People become uneasy, questions appear, energy moves. Now, imagine what would happen if you stopped reacting to everything. If, instead of answering immediately, defending yourself, or explaining your feelings, you chose silence. Not weakness, not avoidance, but conscious withdrawal. Before we go any further, if this kind of content speaks to you, deep psychology, self-mastery, and emotional independence, subscribe to the channel. This is a space for those who are ready to reclaim their inner power. Most people are taught that being available is a virtue. Respond quickly, be understanding, keep the peace, don't disappoint. But what no one tells you is that excessive availability is not kindness, it's vulnerability. When you are always accessible, emotionally, physically, psychologically, you become predictable. And everything predictable can be controlled. People learn how to pull your strings through your reactions, your guilt, your need to be liked. But the moment you withdraw, the game changes. Those who thought they knew you suddenly realize they never did. Carl Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves." So ask yourself this: when you become less available, who gets irritated? Who suddenly demands explanations? Who tries to provoke emotion from you? That reaction reveals far more about them than about you. It exposes how much they relied on your emotional presence to regulate themselves. Every forced yes, every immediate reply, every emotional reaction costs you energy. Jung understood the psyche as an energy system. Every thought, emotion, and engagement consumes psychic energy. The question is not whether you are spending it, but whether you are choosing where it goes. When you defend yourself against comments that don't matter, engage in pointless arguments, or try to please people who don't respect you, you leak your inner strength. Over time, this creates exhaustion, resentment, and a quiet emptiness you can't quite explain. People who are emotionally drained are not weak. They are misdirected. And exhaustion makes you vulnerable. Manipulative and opportunistic individuals sense this immediately. They don't need to control you openly. They simply trigger patterns you've never questioned. Jung called this projection. People project their unmet needs, their shadows, onto those who are emotionally available. The more available you are, the more you become a screen for others' unresolved issues. Have you noticed how some people only reach out when they need something? Or how your value seems to drop the moment you set a boundary? That's because many people were never relating to you. They were relating to the role you played: the helper, the listener, the emotional refuge. When you stop playing that role, confusion turns into irritation. Not because you changed, but because you stopped being useful. This is where silence becomes powerful. Not passive silence, not avoidance, but deliberate, grounded silence that comes from self-awareness. Silence removes you from emotional games. It forces others to sit with themselves instead of feeding off your reactions. While you speak, you are still participating in the dynamic. When you withdraw, you change the rules entirely. Silence has a cost. You will be misunderstood. Some will call you cold, distant, arrogant. Others will accuse you of changing. But what they're really reacting to is the loss of access. Jung understood that individuation requires distance from the collective, a sacred withdrawal, not isolation born of fear, but solitude chosen for clarity. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim your energy. When you stop reacting immediately, you regain your center. Conscious unavailability is not cruelty. It's sovereignty. It's knowing that not every message deserves a response, not every emotion deserves expression, and not every relationship deserves access to you. At first, this will feel uncomfortable. Guilt will arise. You'll wonder if you're being selfish. That discomfort is part of deconditioning. You've been trained to abandon yourself to maintain connection. Breaking that pattern will shake you, and it will shake those who benefited from your old self.
Pay attention to who distances themselves when you protect your peace. Who provokes you when you no longer react? Who accuses you of changing when you finally choose yourself? These are not signs of failure. They are signs of liberation. After the withdrawal comes silence. After silence comes solitude, but not loneliness. This is the solitude of strength. In that space, clarity replaces confusion. Peace replaces anxiety. You stop reacting to life and begin creating from within. You will lose people, but you will find yourself. You will be misunderstood, but finally respected. Because what is no longer always available becomes valuable. If you've made it this far, a part of you already knows this truth. Being loved means nothing if it requires self-abandonment. Real self-respect begins when you choose yourself, even if it means walking alone for a while. Tell me in the comments, are you ready to be misunderstood for the sake of your inner freedom?